Okay, so today on Kamado Cooking UK we're going to be looking at changing a gasket on the Kamado. Now this gasket's probably about a year and a half old, maybe 2 years old. It's been used quite a lot and it's flattened down and worn away, and what's happening now is we're getting smoke seep out from around the sides. So the Kamado won't be efficient if it's leaking smoke round here, so we need to change this. I've got some new gasket here. Now I've just bought this off of eBay. I've used some of this before. You can get it really cheap on eBay. It's probably just under an inch thick, or wide should I say, and I suppose if we're talking in mils it's about 3 or 4 mil high, so the height of it, and it's got, this peels off on the back and it's sticky on the back here. So the first thing we've got to do is get this old rubber off, or this old gasket off. There's no rubber involved. Now I've got this little tool, and what we're going to do is come around here like this to get this off. You can actually see it's just really thin, it's falling apart, so it's time to be changed. You can use anything for this. You can use, and I've probably got one here somewhere. Yeah, I've got a knife here. If you've got an old knife, it will still do the same job. So yeah, so we can still use a knife like this, an old one. It will still work the same. But instead of ruining that knife doing that, I'm just going to go back to this. Right, now we've got it to this stage where we've got most of the thick gasket off. You can see the ceramic just underneath there grinning through. Now we need to clean this off, so we need to go right back to the ceramic here. Now today I'm going to be using, I do use sometimes thinners which you can get, paint thinners. I'm going to try this alcohol, 99% alcohol isopropyl. You can buy this quite cheaply on Amazon or eBay, or use the paint thinners. So I'm going to put some gloves on and then we're going to soak some on there. Do it little bit by little bit. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Don't just try to do the whole lot, because this will just dry out too quickly. So just concentrate, just keep putting it on with this and letting it soak in, and then once that's soaked in enough, we'll go back to our scraper again. Like that, and you can see it now. Yeah, you can see that that's taken off quite a lot there. So we need to get this grease free for the new gasket to stick to, otherwise it won't stick properly. And we don't want to change it and then that gasket keeps coming off. Funny enough, the top one on this is a Joe Junior. On this particular one, the top gasket I've never had to change, and it's still pretty thick. And that is pretty much it. we've pretty much got all of that adhesive off. If you touch it, let it dry a little bit, this will evaporate really quickly. I'm using this knife as well, but that is pretty much it. That's pretty good. So our gasket is going to stick to this. Now while we're doing this gasket, it's a good opportunity to make sure that all these fixings on the back are tight, they've not come loose. Sometimes they do come loose on the hinge, especially on the hinge. So we're just going to check these and make sure they're still tight. Right, so we're just going to check the bands, the band that runs around it is tight. Now with all of these bolts, do not over tighten them, you can crack the ceramic. So it just wants a little tighten up. We'll do the same on the bottom one. And that's literally all it wants. Do not really crank and crank and crank, because you could end up cracking your ceramic. Right, so with this, what we're going to do is we are going to start from the back of the Kamado and run. Now don't, as you're doing this, don't pull this so that it makes it thinner. Just literally lay it and let it, or try and set it on the old position. So you want this as neat as possible. Like I say, it has got nice adhesive tape on the back of it, so it should stick. Now when we get up to the end piece here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that it will go past it. So I'm going to cut about there. And then what we've got to work out is where this is going to finish. I can roughly see where that is going to be. And that's about there. And that's how we put a new gasket onto our Kamado. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to put a little bit of charcoal in here and get the Kamado lit. Right, okay, I'm just going to light this now. Let it come up to temperature quickly, like I say, about 200, and then that will help loosen off the adhesive on the back there, and it'll help it bind to the ceramic of the Kamado. So that's about it. Thanks for watching this episode of Kamado Cooking UK, and hope that was a little bit of useful information on if your Kamado starts leaking smoke out the sides. So that is the thing to do. So hope you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.